She got into an accident, stepped out of the car, and mysteriously disappeared. In this video, we will tell you what really happened. Patricia Bernadette Migan is a 37-year-old American woman who went missing after a car accident on Highway 200 in Montana near the town of Circle. Investigators initially suspected that Migan fled the scene out of fear of losing her driver's license and suffered from amnesia due to a head injury. In the months and years following her disappearance, over 5,000 reports of potential sightings of Migan were received, several of which were confirmed by police, but none led to her being found. Patricia Migan was born to Dolly and Thomas Migan in 2008, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where she grew up. She attended college in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, where she studied early childhood development, preparing for a career in kindergarten teaching. In 1985, she left this pursuit and moved to Bozeman, Montana, where she worked on a ranch, motivated by her love of animals. Migan took on odd jobs in addition to ranch work to support herself. The last person to see Migan before her disappearance was her landlord, who noted that her behavior was unusual and that she seemed agitated. On April 19, 1989, the day before her disappearance, Migan spoke with her father in Pittsburgh by phone, telling him that she was stressed and wanted to come home. At 8:15 p.m. on April the 20th, Peggy Bueller and her father were driving west on Highway 200 near Circle, Montana, when they saw a car speeding east in the opposite lane. Following closely behind Peggy's car was Carol Heitz, an off-duty police dispatcher. Peggy managed to pull off the road to avoid a head-on collision, but Carol Heitz, driving behind them, collided with the oncoming car. Carol managed to get out of her wrecked car and saw a blonde woman exit the car that had been driving in the wrong lane and caused the collision. The woman approached Carol and stared at her as if she were looking through her. According to Heitz, the woman didn't say a word. Peggy Bueller, who was standing on the side of the road, then witnessed the blonde woman climb over a fence and stand still, observing the scene. She stood there like a spectator, as if she wasn't the one involved in the accident. Peggy watched as the unknown woman stood silently on the other side of the fence for a few moments before walking off into an empty field and disappearing into the night. After that, Peggy Bueller immediately drove to town to call the police, while her father stayed with Carol Heitz at the scene of the accident. When the police arrived, the unidentified blonde driver of the other vehicle had disappeared without a trace. Soon, the police discovered that the blonde was Patricia Bernadette Migan, or at least the car was registered in her name. During their search shortly after the accident, the police found tennis shoe tracks starting in the field about 1,200 meters from the accident site. It remains unexplained why no tracks were found near the scene itself. Judging by the shoe size, the footprints were believed to belong to Migan. Investigators followed the tracks until 3 a.m. on April 21st, before they eventually vanished. The search was suspended until the next morning. The Migan family arrived in Montana shortly after their daughter's disappearance and distributed over 2,000 flyers throughout the area. Local volunteers searched the surrounding mountains and terrain near the accident site on horseback and ATVs. The Migan family also hired a search helicopter, but all these efforts proved fruitless. Abandoned coal mines in the area were searched as well, but no trace of Patricia was found. The accident site near Circle was nearly 640 kilometers, 400 miles, from Migan's home in Bozeman, and neither law enforcement nor Patricia's family could explain why she was in that area. Initially, Police theorized that Patricia had fled the scene by hitchhiking or had hidden in a hay truck parked about 800 meters from the accident site, though there were no reports to confirm either claim. According to Patricia's mother, she had been experiencing depression and was seeing a psychologist with whom she had an appointment scheduled for the morning of April 21st. Among Patricia's belongings, her family found a camera. When they developed the film, there was only one photo, an apparent self-portrait of Patricia taken in front of a mirror. In the early stages of the investigation, there was speculation that Patricia might have been suffering from amnesia. Since her disappearance, more than 5,000 reports of sightings of a woman resembling Patricia have been recorded. On May 4, 1989, a police officer in Luverne, Minnesota, reported seeing Patricia sitting in a Hardee's restaurant. She had been sitting alone, drinking water for more than 5 hours until the restaurant closed, after which she went to a nearby 24-hour diner. When the officer questioned her, the woman refused to give her name, claiming at first that she was from Colorado, then saying she was from Israel. The officer had no grounds to detain the woman, and she slipped away from police view. The next day, on May 5th, there were 2 other reported sightings of Patricia. One was in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, where a waitress claimed that Patricia had been sitting in a truck stop diner drinking coffee. That same day, a waitress at another diner in Murdo, South Dakota, reported seeing Patricia between 10 and 11 p.m. with a man who appeared to be in his 30s. On May 19, 1989, a waitress at a restaurant near Patricia's home in Bozeman reported seeing her there. According to the waitress, Patricia ordered and ate breakfast in a rush and mentioned that she needed to go shopping by 9 a.m. Morning also saw Patricia and reported that she appeared disoriented and was talking to herself. That same week, there was another sighting of Patricia at a horse auction in Billings, Montana. More than 2 weeks later, on May 30th, a woman resembling Patricia was spotted by a passing truck driver on Interstate 90 in rural Washington state. The driver offered her a ride, which she declined. Another possible sighting occurred the following week in Tacoma, Washington, where a Port of Tacoma employee claimed to have seen Patricia at a truck stop on Interstate 5, asking people how to get to Aberdeen. By June 1989, there had been over 25 reported sightings of Patricia, 3 of which were confirmed by police. Additional sightings were reported to law enforcement agencies across the Pacific Northwest, many at truck stops between Montana and Seattle. Authorities believe Patricia might have been in Washington state at the time, as her sister lived in Seattle, and her ex-boyfriend, Kurt Fletcher, resided in Spokane, also in Washington. On August 30, 1990, in Coeur, Idaho, police arrested a woman for littering. The woman resembled Patricia, and the arresting officer initially thought it was her. On September 1st, the woman appeared in Kootenai County Court, where she told the judge that she was a missionary traveling between Montana and Washington. A fingerprint analysis later confirmed that the woman was not Patricia Migan. Despite the numerous reports of possible sightings of Patricia Migan in the years following her disappearance, she has never been found. And that concludes our coverage of this tragic story. If you found this video informative or thought-provoking, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more updates on cases like these. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Feel free to share this video with your friends and give it a thumbs up if you found it valuable. Thank you for watching.